Y'all, I got a confession. I had my first unsuccessful muffin batch. Yeah. So I ran out of fruit. I wish I had more bananas. I do not currently. But like the last few batches I've had that didn't have like banana in them or like the blueberries, they're just not as thick, you know? I like them thick. So naturally I'm like, what do I have? I was like, I have these mandarin orange cups. Maybe like pineapple upside down cake? No. No. Sadly mistaken. Granted, it was at the witching hour, so I was like, I can cook up some magic. No. No. Absolutely disgusting. I was like, this tastes like ass. And then in my head, I was like, nah, ass shouldn't taste like that. It shouldn't taste like anything. Honestly, I just ate around the mandarin oranges. And it was fine. So I have this psyllium fiber that I'm going to use to try to thicken them up today, tonight, this morning. Yeah. Because I'm not going to run to the store just for bananas because I have like one more batch of mix anyways. So I'm not going to waste my time and just do one thing, which I mean, I guess I could get both, but like I'm not doing that today. But this mix is supposed to have a lot of fiber in it anyways, but I can't fucking tell. And to be honest, my stomach should be a litmus test for fiber because my shit's fucked up. And yes, I do blame America for bioengineering our food. And what is that word called? What is that word called? What is the word? They've pretty much grown our food to where it lacks a lot of fiber. Yeah. But I also blame my mother for putting Pepsi in my bottle and also allowing me to eat battery acid and drywall. Well, while I am exposing myself on the fucking internet, I will talk about some of the stomach stuff. So I always had like the stomach problems, right? But this specifically was in high school. I had to do this elimination diet. And at one point, and this was whenever they had me on the fucking opiate too. At one point, they had me taking like 8 to 9 capfuls of fucking Miralax a day. And I was only allowed to have Gatorade and water. And it's supposed to be tasteless, but it's not. Like, so I had to drink it in the Gatorade, so I'd try to put as much in the Gatorade as possible, so I didn't have to drink a shit ton of Gatorade, because that's difficult to do. At least for me. And unfortunately, it would get thick. Like, in a bad way. Not in the muffin way. In a bad way. My tism didn't like it. Honestly, after that, I couldn't touch Gatorade for years. Like, after that period of my life. And I was seeing 2 different doctors. So, one was my primary care, which is Palmetto Primary Care Physicians. They're the same people that try to put me on antidepressants and didn't give me a real ADHD test. So going to that physician, and then I went to a pediatric gastrologist, because if you're under 18, you still have to go to a pediatric gastrologist, by the way. But because I guess records weren't being shared, I was being like OD'd on this one ingredient, and the one medication the doctor was giving me, the physician was giving me, and then the pediatric gastrologist was just giving me that one ingredient. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was insane. But whenever I'd see my pediatric gastrologist, I'd have to get ultrasounds on my fucking colon. Like, crazy. At one point, it was 5 times the size of a normal human's. I don't know how. I don't know how. I do have my suspicions, though. But anyways, how I found out that I wasn't supposed to be taking all that was I underage drank whenever I went to go visit my father in Colorado. Like, me and my stepsister went to her friends and drank. Like, I had like 1 shot and I was like convulsing, like throwing up. Like, it was insane. And then the next day, my stepmother, she's a nurse, and she was looking at my meds. She's like, why are you taking this? I was like, because the doctor said so. And she was like, did your mother not do any research? I'm like, no, I guess not. Like, and And, like, I don't blame her for not doing research, because naturally you, like, just assume that the doctor is giving you what you should be taking. Like, that's what you would assume, but obviously not in this, like, healthcare system. And now that I'm, like, a full-grown adult, definitely not. But things were different back then. Though it seems that she's an op, so maybe she was always an op. Maybe that's why my colon was 5 times the size of a normal human's, and why I was on those meds. Yeah. But look at us now. Doing great. For the most part. Especially once I am free. Dobby's a free elf. Dobby will be a free elf. But yeah, that's some lore for y'all. I've been able to manage as an adult pretty decently, like the best I can, you know. Recently my stomach's been kind of like not feeling the best, but I think it's my environment and also just like my environment. But the Xylem Husk should help. I do want to do like a juice cleanse soon, and once I'm out of here, to be honest, that would be nice. I just feel like that'd be a nice like detox for my body. And then yeah, just figure out from there. Not eating meat has helped a lot. I do need to get better at just like eating more variety of vegetables. It's just really hard to keep them here because of the mold. Like, things go bad really fast and they get questionable. So keeping fresh produce is a task here. I'm not gonna lie. I still do it, but not as much as I would like to. But yeah. Okay, today's makeup. Ooh, look at 2 sleepy babies. I made them little beds. He's on the Stitch onesie. And she's just a sunbathing. And I think I'm gonna do some tarot. Gonna do the bygone tarot today. We might do both. We'll see. We'll see. I love how before I even shuffle it, the Empress is on the bottom of the deck. And I'm just like doing a baseline shuffle before I even pull the cards now. Maybe I should put that Empress back. I want to cleanse the deck. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a smoke cleanse, and then after I'm done shuffling, well, I'm going to shuffle, smoke cleanse, then, you know. Say it sleeps inside my brain. When you wake, it takes me far away. It takes me to this place that I fucking prefer a regular lighter. Like, this is reusable, it's cool, but like, it takes me forever. Maybe I'm just incompetent. Maybe it's just me. Anyways, that song is Plague by Sea Haven. It came up in my head as I was like starting to mess with this deck. That was like one of the first albums I ever heard by them. It's because it's their first album. Okay. Anyways, the album's called Ghost. It's a good one. Ooh, perfect timing. The loudest air cut off. So that's nice. Okay, Spirit, what do we need to know? What do we need to hear? I want them all to fall out, peeps. I don't want too many at a time either. I hate where I'm a prisoner of my own body. Sorry, I got a text from one of my HR people. For some reason, my paperwork, I got like a government alert that my information, like my social and identification stuff, doesn't match. I don't know. Anyways, I looked up on the deck and it's the Fool, so we're going to keep that one. It's a good one. But I've never had that happen before, so she's looking into it. Luckily, I got that email from the government. I was like, oh, all right. Maybe someone thinks I'm dead. Okay. All right, we'll take the top one. So what fell out was the Ace of Cups. But we're not going to take any of the rest because I'm not doing that. So far, that's looking good. Especially what I don't have planned today, but like loosely planned on what I'm going to do today. Just because I'm chilling, do art stuff, maybe look into some things. The sun. I've just like had a time here. Like things almost feel pointless because of my shit being all compromised. It's just really difficult to even attempt to make plans for my future. But that's okay. I've been getting some messages. Fuck yeah. Divine timing, baby. Had some crazy eyes there for a second. Holy fuck. Okay. So the last one that fell out was King of Wands. And then at the bottom of the deck we have Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm going to lay out the spread and then explain. As I was like putting the Ten of Pentacles down for this spread, the Hierophant was also on the bottom. So we're just going to put that to the side and I will show the spread. The Fool, Ace of Cups, the Sun, the Chariot. I love how it has partially of my kiss mark. That's so funny. Also ignore my nails. King of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So the Fool is all about being free-spirited, adventure, innocence. And I feel like I've always kind of stayed in the state of the Fool with my artistic creativity and everything. So with that comes the Ace of Cups, which is like love, compassion, creativity, which is exactly the state I like to stay in. So then the Sun. Also 1, 2, 3 on the timer. How cute. It's like success, growth, achievement, just like happiness. Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Chariot, new direction. Ooh, confirmation. It's like new direction, success. It's almost like a catalyst. Oh, I just saw some burps, but I don't know what kind of burps they were. I think it might have been a mourning dove. Also a sign. Signs and synchronicities are everywhere. That was supposed to be, a dove was supposed to be a sign. And I knew it was probably going to be a mourning dove over the traditional idea of a dove, like the white dove, because I don't think those are around here that I know of. So the King of Wands is honor, culture, leader, vision, and I'm a life path 1. Fun fact. Ooh, burps. Oh. Yeah, my birthday is on the 1st of the month, but like if you add all the numbers, I'm a life path 1. Guys, there is a mourning dove eating at my thing, which like isn't uncommon, but like for the signs and synchronicities. And then there were 8 and then 9 wrens. Now there's 2 mourning doves. 3. And then for the Ten of Pentacles, I love how I'm just jumping back in, but yeah. For the Ten of Pentacles, it's just like long-term success, family, legacy, which like be nice. I've been waiting. 28 years on this planet. And then the Hierophant's like just like spiritually aware. What a good spread. That's good. Makes me happy. While I'm still here, I'm like shuffling to put up the deck, and then I end up splitting it, and then I have the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. I'll take that as a sign as well. Splitting it, and then I have the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. That's like the perfect pool for a shadow worker. I feel like it is so important to honor both sides, but as someone who began my life as a very shadowy person, it is such a big part of me. It was my only protector, and I feel like a lot of people have guilt and shame in their shadow, but whenever you guilt and shame those pieces of yourself, it tends to become a monster within itself. So like the devil card, a little self-indulgence isn't bad. It's like hedonism. A little temptation's not bad. You just cannot let these things overtake you. You know, it's a balance. And I tried to bury her, and it almost ended me. Yeah. So before I went to bed this morning, because it was this morning, I was hearing blood money, because that's what the people that are doing this to me, that's all they've ever obtained is blood money. But then, like, whenever I'm doing shorthand writing, it's like blood money, unholy, stained red, counterfeit. So whenever I'm thinking about blood money, I'm also thinking about blood diamonds, and blood diamonds are mined in war zones. And typically, blood diamonds involve human rights abuses. I don't know if you saw that, but that was confirmation. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, if blood diamonds are often mined, well, they are mined in war zones, so this has been a psychological war zone. Psychological war zone, prisoner of the mind. One of the most infamous spots of mining blood diamonds is Sierra Leone. So, psychological war zone, Sierra Leone, Lion Mountain, Freetown. That's the capital. So, it's named after the Lion Mountain. So, it was Sierra Leoa, the Lioness Mountain. It was like the Portuguese, which is interesting because of the Farsi thing yesterday. So, I'm thinking psychological war zone, my Lioness Mountain to climb in Sierra Leone. Okay, psychological war zone, my Lioness Mountain to climb in Sierra Leone. Found my way to Freetown. The blood diamond is mine to own. Need to work on that one. Ooh, okay. My mind is a blood diamond that they cannot own. And to sympathize, wow. To simplify that, my mind, a blood diamond that cannot be owned. And we talk about the Lioness Mountain, a lioness on top of the mountain. So how do we connect that? Because psychological war zone, a missed target in a psychological war zone. A missed target in a psychological war zone. A lioness on top of a mountain in Sierra Leone. Climbed my way to Freetown. My mind is a blood diamond that cannot be owned. Okay, so that does not flow well. So I'm thinking, I go back to the shorthand writing. So missed target, psychological war zone, Lioness Mountain, Sierra Leone. My mind, a blood diamond that cannot be owned. I can't shorthand that part. I don't know how. Then I'm thinking the Freetown needs to be moved. So Freetown, that's the capital. So Freetown, my destination, my liberation. And that's like the shorthand part, but I could also be like Freetown, my destination to obtain liberation, if it wasn't like the shorthand writing, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm also thinking heart of Gaia as like another concept, because they say Africa is the heart of Gaia, Mother Earth. And we haven't even touched the blood money part yet, so that could even be like a whole different topic for something else, which is really cool how like that, this all derived from that. But yeah, that's just like how I do some of my writing process. It's funny, I was like tattooing while I was like doing this, like, and whenever I would stop and pause, I would just like go again and think about it, because sometimes these things aren't just going to freely flow. Sometimes you need to put down a concept and then go from there. That's why there's like so many different writers sometimes on a song, because sometimes someone can come up with a concept, but someone can help connect those dots a little better. Yeah. But I do have to put a pause on that because my mind is starting to drift on it. So I'm going from Heart of Gaia to Orion, because that's I could get into that a whole nother time. But Gaia's lover would be like maybe Orion, you know. So Orion saves Gaia. Like it just keeps on going. So I can't oversaturate this and confuse myself and just like branch off. So I had to put a pause on it. But as a concept, neat. Hell yeah. Where's Drain Hole 69 when you need him? I find it so fucking lame that you can buy views on here and how much it pushes. It reminds me of the Ink Mag thing where you can buy votes, and it's just like, that's how you get people that like honestly probably shouldn't win. I hate that everything's like a monetary thing now. Another thought is that like it's a good thing I'm protected, because my tism would have got me like murked. Because what's been happening to me is like been known. There's so many songs about it, but people are scared. I'm just openly talking about it, not knowing that there's a fucking target on my head, bro. It was mostly because I just didn't know at first, and I was just like, this is so weird. And I was like, oh, like deadass, low key. My neighbor, their window, deadass looks like a bullet went right through. I was like, I wonder if that was for me. Guess they missed some markings. Also, low key, I just like the idea that they sent like romantic partners after me and stuff. Like my ego would have never guessed, because I would have never guessed that they sent people that actually didn't want to be with me. Like I feel like I'm worthy. I feel like I'm a catch. And I misspoke. That's a high key. I would have never guessed. My ego like just can't. Well, I can conceptualize it now, but like not before. And like Mr. FBI man, if you're ready, come on. Okay, I need to calm down. But for real, time's a ticking. Please. Also, if those partners were what I think they were, that's like coercion. That's assault. Assault shaker. I don't know why I said that. But one of my signs of synchronicities was 5. I saw 5 rins outside my window, and I heard 5 days. And then on Sunday, I heard Sunday. But I was like, today's Sunday. It can't be Sunday. Next Sunday. But now, 5 days from now, it's Sunday. FBI man, or whoever, I'm awaiting. And let me know if I'll know on Sunday, I guess, if I'm correct. Now the loud ass haircut's off. Okay, I need to go check my dessert. Okay, we're good now. So another thing was like I used to have this reoccurring dream, and today one of the signs was like railroad tracks, accidents. And whenever I was a kid, I had this reoccurring dream that my stepfather drove us on these railroad tracks, and then we like couldn't get off. And then the train hit us, and it was a reoccurring dream. So is he dragging the family to hell? Is he the culprit? Is that why his cousin texted me? I think so. Makes sense with my cousin. Justice for Hunter. And my Uncle Forrest. You're going down. Meet me at the mall. It's going down. I'm cracking myself the fuck up right now. I can't help it. I sound southern as so. Okay. So So I have like one batch of muffin mix if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. Probably not even that. But I'm not trying to leave. I mean, I would gladly leave if I actually had something to do other than go to the store. But I'm not going to the store. No. I refuse. My princess. Okay. Anyways. So I'm like, I want something sweet. So I had something in my freezer. I'm like, okay, well, this has been here for a minute. And then I saw the freezer brought up. I saw the freezer burn on it. And I knew that it was a toss-up. I knew it. How? God. I knew it was a toss-up. And so I just took it out of the oven a little bit ago. I just had a bite. I was like, can taste the freezer burn on it. Okay. Oh my goodness, guys. My childhood dreams were truly speaking to me this whole time. Okay, so I talked about that train dream. Also, I'm tattooing my foot. Ignore me. Don't ignore me. Listen to my dream. When I said that, I was like hearing, listen to this track, bitch. And me doing the My Precious thing just reminded me of this because I had this terrifying dream whenever I was a child that stuck with me. Because I was terrified of Gollum. Terrified of him. My precious. My precious. There's one time my stepfather, he, like, the lights were off in my room, and he used to terrorize me at night. My mother would let him come into my bedroom at night. Every single night. Anyways, one night in particular, he saw that I was awake. And then he was like, my princess. Trying to scare me or some shit. I don't fucking know. But that's a side note. That's a side note. That's not the dream. But, yeah. Anyways. So, in the dream, like, I was a kid and I'd go to these different locations, like, with different adults. And there's like the ring and the Gollum and everything, and it was always like hunting me. And there was something about my family not being my family. I think they had died. And then there's like a fake family. But it was confusing because I was given this ring by my real family, told to have safekeeping. So it was always with me. That's why Gollum was after me. Oh, confirmation chill. Oh. No wonder they fucked with my sleep. I had some prophetic dreams. I don't know how prophetic this one is. But I know that I'm the ring and the Gollum is this society. These people. Yeah. I remember. Okay, so this is a continuation of the dream from my childhood. So my family had died in a car accident in the dream. I mean, if it is prophetic, that would check out with these people's MO. Something about my sister not being my sister. Maybe a cousin. It was such a long time ago that I'm trying to piece it all together, but I just remember the Gollum just tracking me down and finding me. I remember the ring. It was a gold ring. I had it always with me, but it was like within me. But like I saw the physical ring that my family had given to me, but then it was just like in me. Not in a weird way. But if my family's not my family, it would be lit if I did have living family. The world may never know. Anyways. So another thing that was like super interesting. So I made a video about this a while back where I was working at this place in Wake Forest called the Cardinal. And they had Well, I was supposed to work at the Cardinal, but they had opened up a new restaurant called Little Ombre and like only scheduled me there. So I finished training at the Cardinal, and I thought I was gonna be able to work at all of them. I wanted to do pickup only, but somehow I ended up full blown scheduled for just Little Ombre after I was done with, you know, whatever. But I think it was like my second or third training shift at the Cardinal, because I had 3 before I was done, where this guy came in, and I'm friendly. I was talking to him, chatting. And he travels from here to where I'm from, Charleston, South Carolina. And he works at the hospital I was born at, which is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. East Cooper, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. So, I wonder if there's some sketchy shit there. I don't know. I do not know. But, yeah, so that was, like, interesting, but I just thought it was super strange, but Charleston's not that far. And while we're talking about fun facts, another thing was that, like, my family, whenever I was old enough to have, like, my own bedroom, I was living in the guest room, and my closet door was, like, a full length. It's, like, 2 double doors sliding, facing my bed. So it was like a wall length of closet doors, basically, of mirror facing my bed. That's not good, y'all. That's not good. One day, this might scare y'all. I promise I'm not possessed. One day I woke up in the, night. One night I woke up in the middle of the night, probably morning, and I look in the mirror and I'm like contorted on my like like, you know, like whenever, like, you know, whenever you're doing a backhand spring, whenever you're in that one position before you flip your legs, I'm in that position crawling around on my bed, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that was terrifying. But maybe I'm an exorcist. Maybe I exorcise people's demons. Maybe that's why people can be so mean to me. I trigger their demons. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. I think I'm done here. Bye. Y'all, going into hermit mode has taught me a lot of things. It made me quite resourceful. I've always been resourceful, but even more so. I'm making my own simple syrup. I'm making my own cold brew. My own oat milk, muffins. Gotten quite creative with it. Been tattooing myself, taught myself things. Things. Got over my fear of tap water. I think I could survive just about anything. I feel like those bitches that made bread during COVID. I say bitches endearingly. At one point I made my own laundry detergent. I don't know how well I did though. Cause that was back whenever I had that crazy washer and dryer that had a shit ton of mold and shit in it. Yeah. Y'all, for example, this is what that shit looked like. Those hoes told me it was brand new when I moved here. This is also the dryer. It has rust in it. Well, it had rust in it. I made them replace it. That shit was fucking rude. Rude. I'm looking back at these pictures. I'm getting angry right now. Throw back to whenever I had that really terrible rash on my tummy. Wait. Come on. Yeah, them's are fighting words. They try to not only hurt the baby, they try to murk the baby. Shame. Not just shame. I think it would only be fair if they had to suffer the same. Okay, that's a little mean. But they did it to me. Okay, I need to go on my vibration plate and ground. Baby's grounded and ready, yeah. It doesn't take me long. I did do about 15 minutes, I think, on my vibration plate. And at first, I was doing it really fast, but too fast, I guess. Because I had made myself a cold brew. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's like 11 o'clock at night now, but that doesn't matter for me. It just doesn't. I wanted something sweet, but like a drinky drink. And I do have matcha now, which I guess I could have that. But, so I made myself a little coffee. I was like, I can do this and like do all my little things. And well, I had sat it on the stand, and my vibration plate, I had it on like 70. Didn't know it even went that high. But I was just going, and I was like, and then it just fell, and the glass broke, which was also a sign, was a broken glass. And like, I got 2 of those cups now, mugs. I did have a 4 set that I got at the thrift store, because I'm a thrifty bitch. Now I'm down to 2. So I'm down to 2 of those glasses and 2 of my other glasses. But that's okay, I'm one person. I don't have company usually. So, it is what it is. But now I'm debating, I might try and make another one. And honestly, I think God is like, bitch, you're dehydrated. Drink water, and then maybe you earned it. And that's fair. I try. So, okay. Ooh, got tap. I think because it wasn't like ice cold, I'm like, I don't want it. Though making this video reminded me that I did put some water in my tea kettle to make my tea. Okay, buddy. And I forgot about it. Say hello to mama's baby. So maybe make that. And this isn't a fun tea. This is my tummy tea, okay? It helps. It helps. But it's not a fun tea. I do have hibiscus, but I ran out of honey. But it's good alone. But I want it chilled. I have no ice. Freezer? Confirmation chill. That might work. I don't know. Anyways, so might end up making my muffins for real, because I'm not eating that freezer burnt shit. I can't make myself do it. I tried to have a bite of it a little bit ago. I was like, this is toxic as hell. No, I don't like making myself do things I don't want to do. In general. That's why I'm such a menace, honestly. Probably also why I'm a life path 1. Can't tell me what to do unless I want you to tell me what to do. Yeah. But, so, probably gonna do that. And I was gonna talk about my signs and synchronicities, but maybe I should make another video separately, because I've kind of went off the deep end. Okay, I decided to make my cold brew. Gotta have a do-over. Oh, maybe that's another sign, a do-over. Do-over. Gotta write down my signs and synchronicities. Also, making more oat milk. Because since I made my cold brew, I'm gonna have to make more cold brew. So I need to get this out of my French press. And I just did this first. This has been here for a minute. But I'm gonna need some for tomorrow. Anyways, as I was like coming into the kitchen, I was hearing like Bad Romance. I like start singing it by Lady Gaga, of course. Also really glad I'm doing this now, because I will also need the oat milk for my muffins if I want muffins. Which I do have my protein shakes, but I don't want to use all of them. Which I'll probably use a little bit, but I need this too. I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. I want your love and all your love is revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. Oh, oh, oh. Caught in a bad romance. Oh, oh, oh. Caught in a bad romance. Voice up. Hello, it's me again. I'm going to talk about my signs and synchronicities for tonight. Well, today. I feel like I have to deliver this just in case anyone else has similar signs and synchronicities. Yeah. So So the first thing was I took a shower before I went to bed, and there was a red string on my towel. I think the fairies are talking to me, trying to tell me something. And then Love Song by The Cure just kept on popping up in my shuffle like over and over and over again. I was like, what is happening here? Loud ass air. It's fine though. It's fine. But then Cinnamon Girl by Lana Del Rey was playing in my head, so that's what I was singing in the shower. There's things I wanna say to you, I'll just let you live. If you hold me without hurting me, you'll be the first to ever did. There's things I wanna talk about, better not to give. If you hold me without hurting me, you'll be the first who ever did. Sorry, my arm was just feeling like something was on it. And before I went to bed, I wrote something to pass the time when the mind weighs heavy and the night drags on. I don't know why. And then woke up, there was a blood money thing. 111, 700 for some reason. I don't know why 700 was a synchronicity. Oh, the angel number, if you look it up what it means. Yeah, that's why. And then another Lana Del Rey song, Say Yes to Heaven. Fuck yeah, perfect timing, loud ass airs off. So the first line is, well, before she says Say Yes to Heaven, it's like, I've got my eye on you, I've got my eye on you. Say yes to heaven, say yes to me. Say yes to heaven, say yes to me. And then the next one, she's like, I've got my mind on you, I've got my mind on you. Yeah. Also, how cute, 222 on the timer. And then this is like a separate thing, but I think it's that pertains to my situation. Well, I mean, it all pertains to my situation, but that's more like a sweet thing. This is like, I think with people that were involved, so like the 5 days, and then yesterday I had the loop of I fucked up hard. Well, there's another I fucked up 5 days, 5 rins, I fucked up. So I think that had to do with one of my, or both my exes, I don't fucking know, messing up. Probably my long-term one, if I had to guess. Thinking that they were gonna get some kind of, that's not happening. And then Cold by Crossfade, I don't know why. What it really meant to say is I'm sorry for the way I am. Never meant to be. Okay, well, I mean, it makes sense. Never meant to be so cold. And then something about levity, which is lacking due respect. Which, I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there's like, I have this Polaroid printer, and there's this like sheet that prints out before the other ones. It's a color calibration sheet. So that was in my makeup bag for some reason. I don't know how it got there. So I'm thinking some kind of like calibration is needing to be done some way. I don't know. And then delay due to a distraction. So perhaps someone had a distraction and then that distraction's gone. So now there's movement. And I had to turn my heater on. It was getting way too cold in here, to be honest. And then truth doesn't mind being questioned, which is true. And then being silenced, like someone trying to silence me, which makes sense with the shadow banning and the reporting of my videos, which just kind of like admits fault. It's literally proof. Like, because you don't just try to silence truth unless you don't want the truth getting out. Then vocabulary app was cataract, which a cataract causes blurry vision. And so perhaps someone had a distortion of their vision, of their thought process, like they weren't thinking straight. Maybe clouded by greed and money. Maybe. Sippy Cup by Melanie Martinez, which also is like, it's talks about blood money, but the blood money came to me before that, but then I was hearing her song, which like, go listen to it and it will kind of make sense. So, and then for some reason later on, Far Away by Nickelback. I don't know why all the dad rock, but like, yeah. Old Ways by Live Group. All gas, no brakes. Some more vocabulary. So obsecration, that's a song request or plea, often in prayer. Posthumous, which is something rewarded after death. And so like earlier I was talking about how my work had sent me, well, not my work, but the government had sent me that email about my work stuff being not matching, and I was like, maybe someone thinks I died. But like, so yeah, so maybe someone celebrated too early. Atonement, so to repent, to make amends. Refract, to distort or change. And then some more were Hidden Allies, Pink Care Bear with the Rainbow. The Ocean is Bleeding Salt, that's a song by Margot Nuclear So-and-So's. And then Emergency Blanket, Rotten Soil, The Bad Romance. And then Do-Over, 4 in the Morning, Gwen Stefani. And then My Heart Beats Like a Drum, Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. That song by Tisha Class. But the Do-Over, definitely not with any of my exes unless it's a past life. Yeah. But that's what I'm thinking. Do-Over, past life. Past life. That's the connection there. Yeah. I'm gonna go eat some food now. Ooh, okay. I did remember 2 more things. A picnic basket. I do love me some picnics. And for some reason, I was smelling barbecue sauce in my room. And I don't have barbecue sauce. Yeah, I don't know.